Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a birthday reading for the sign of Aquarius. What is going on, Aquarius? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, friends, it is your time. It is your season. Welcome to it, Aquarius. Happy birthday to you. Those who are celebrating here at the end of January when I'm recording this, and for those who are celebrating later on in February, no matter when your special day is, I hope that it is indeed a special day, guys. Please have a good time if you're able to get together with people here in the beginning of 2021. Please do so safely. If you cannot, please do so again, at your leisure, I suppose. But whatever you're doing, I hope you guys have a great day. 2020 was kind of a rough year. 2021's, it's so far, it's a little sticky of a beginning here in the States and probably also in other parts of the world. But again, I hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and secure at this time, Aquarius. Let's get some good juju out here in the world for all of us, not just you guys, but for all of us. But since it's your season, let's pay particular focus on you guys at this time. All right. Aquarius, I don't think I've done this new format to you, so I'll kind of explain it very quickly. I've decided to use the Kipper cards as anchor points for different areas of your life. So over here, we're going to discuss your mental body at this time. This is going to represent your physical body and your wellness at this time, physical wellness at this time. This card up here is going to represent your spiritual body, spiritual wellness at this time. Down here is going to be talking about your purpose at this time. What's the central focus of your purpose on earth, or your life's purpose at this time? Not what is your purpose, but what is the central focus of your purpose at this time. And down in this corner, we're going to talk about any potential soulmate relationships that you do have in this life, and what the central focus is of those connections, or that particular connection. We'll see what comes up, okay? So timestamp is down in the description box if you need it. You can also find information on how to order a personal reading with me if you choose to do that. That'd be super cool. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, that information is in the description box below as well, okay? Everything has been pre-shuffled off camera, meditated off camera, so we can just go ahead and get right into it, okay? So we're going to start up in the top left. What is the central focus for Aquarius's mental body during their birthday season in January 2021 into February 2021? Main female. All right. So for some of you, you will be your own focus. Many people who watch tarot tend to be female. You don't have to be. So it's either you or just another female in your life. Could be a sister, a friend, a mother, a daughter, a boss. It could be anybody. Anyone. It could be someone that you're dating, someone that you're interested in. I'm not really sure just yet. The look of this woman is expectant. Oh gosh, now I can't pick anything up. There we go. Expectant. Like she's waiting for something. She's anticipating something. She, in some of your cases, you might have a certain discussion or outcome that you're. Why won't you focus? Let's fix that real quick. Hopefully. No. Okay, there. That helped. So it could be that there's a particular conversation or interaction that you're anticipating with this person, or that you're anticipating for yourself. Again, it doesn't have to be like this person is external to you. It could be your own energy. And so in a very self-focused way, I don't know, there's something about waiting for something or anticipating something, and it could, again, be just you're anticipating something on your own. Like in some of your cases, it feels like this energy, if it's you, like a turn of events, like just waiting for something to start, or waiting for something to happen, or waiting for something to unfold. That's kind of what that feels like, Aquarius. So let's get a little bit more information there from this tarot deck, the Housewife's Tarot deck. What else can you tell me about the main female? Why is the main female the focus of Aquarius's mental body at this time? A lot of you also could just be like reminiscing on something, reminiscing on yourself, a previous point in your life, or you could be reminiscing again on a particular woman in your life. Kipper works different than tarot. That's why I'm definitely going to say most of you, it's going to be a woman. Yeah, they're like really like giving me like a no on men. So there isn't it's unlikely, I'll say it this way, it's unlikely that this person would show up in a masculine body. They might have masculine tendencies as a female, but they are not masculine formed. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you, okay? So let's just see what else is going on here. So please give me more detail about this main female. Why is the main female the central focus of Aquarius's mental space at this time? Please show me. That's a whole lot. But that fell to the table. We're going to take what fell to the table. But we're also going to note that the Seven of Cups and the Page of Swords came here. So Seven of Cups and Page of Swords, careful watching of a situation, evaluation of a situation, potential spying. Maybe that could be what I'm sensing here, is like this anticipation. I assume that's what you feel when you're spying on a person, is that you're anticipating something. But let's see what fell to the table. All in 3. So 8 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, triple 8. Okay. That's a big synchronicity for some of you. 888. Interesting. They're telling me that also could be someone's birthday. So 888, August 88. That would be a Leo. August 8th, 2008 perhaps is also possibly a birthday. 888, right? So triple eights. 8 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords. In some of your cases, you work with this person, or you're very close with this person. You know them pretty well. And 8s are transformative energy. You know, it's sort of trial by fire. It's sort of getting something accomplished despite any adverse energies or situations or people that we happen to be dealing with, okay? 8 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords. So in here, in the center, I feel, possibly, is this energy of trying to work something out, trying to stick it out, even though on either side, the 8 of Cups and the 8 of Swords is signaling that someone is distressed, someone is stressed out, someone is feeling overworked, overburdened, and not really having much of a way out, or feeling as if they have some relief coming to them. So that could be that anticipation part, you know. Aquarius, some of you might be anxious to get on with a certain event in your life, because I do feel like this 8 of Pentacles is building towards something. I feel that this 8 of Pentacles is you, or whoever the main female is putting in the due diligence, putting in a full day's work or more than a full day's work, whatever it is. But on either side, we're not really feeling or experiencing much of a payoff, you know? And the thing that's missing here, 8 of Wands is missing here. So this might not be known to you, or you're not telling other people about this situation, or how you're feeling in the situation. Okay. And because of this deck being the Housewife's Tarot deck, I feel in some of your cases, not for everybody, in some of your cases, Aquarius, this is a domestic situation, meaning you're putting in a lot of work in your home. You're struggling through something. 3 8 struggling through something, okay? And you're not complaining about it, you know, because the one card of the 8s that speaks mostly to communication, the 8 of Wands, is not here. 8 of Swords, traditionally Swords can talk about communication, but 8 of Swords tends to show, and it does literally show in this deck as well, someone who's stuck in a position, someone who isn't really getting sort of, they're not in a position of, I guess, power or capability or something like that. It's like being really, 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 really unfairly tied to a situation, or tied to a situation, or feeling bound to a situation. And again, I don't know why the focus is just like being total butts. It's like it's there and then it like defocuses or something like that, and it's really frustrating me. There we go. So it's sort of like someone feels like they have their hands tied in a situation, and there's sort of like no way to change the situation or change their circumstances. But I did tell you that the eights equal something about transformation, but it comes sort of at a price, or it comes through some trial by fire. It doesn't come easily, right? So there's hard work being put in, there's dedication here. Someone isn't totally walking away from their responsibilities and their obligations. They're again, it's due diligence, it's working hard, it's trying to fulfill a duty, fulfill a role, right? But it's exhausting. So this could be a mom or a daughter or someone in a domestic space, a wife who's just tired. They're just very tired of what's happening or how their life is going, and there is some expectation for things to change, and that kind of is solidified with the triple eight here. But at the same time, I don't see this person being able to do anything about it, or they don't feel that they are. That could be a self-perception. It might not be what is true in reality, objectively speaking, right? Because this eight of cups shows traditionally it talks about we have had a certain level of emotional fulfillment, and we're seeking it out now elsewhere because we've done all we could do in one particular situation, in one particular area of our lives, right? Or a certain sector of our lives, yeah? So there is some, what else is there? I feel I should have more going on for me. It could be strictly speaking in career. It doesn't have to be domestic. It could be a career thing. Like, I've worked for so long in this job and I'm not really advancing. And so but 2020 and still now in the early parts of 2021, employment opportunities are not really what they should be or what we would hope they would be. I mean, it is a pandemic, so it kind of makes sense. So someone's just, because of the circumstance at hand, feels very trapped, is what this feels like. Someone feels very trapped. And again, that might not be objectively true, or more specifically, or I think more realistically, it's probably true based on the current circumstances. As time moves on, maybe this energy will shift, maybe this person's perception will shift, but at this time, I think they are, this main female, could be you or someone that you know, is just really worried about where they are and how stuck they are, and feeling really put out by it. Like, it's a little bit miserable, if I'm honest. The energy is a little bit miserable. And maybe miserable is a harsher word, but that's kind of how it feels like. Every day this person is looking at their lives and they're just like, they're not happy. They're looking at their progress. They're not happy. They're anticipating something to change or something to happen or something to transform in their life. But the every day where that isn't happening, they become a little bit more sullen. They become a little bit more antisocial, is also an energy that I'm getting there. And they just withdraw into themselves. So whether that be you or someone else, Aquarius, I'm not sure. But that's kind of what is on your mind at this time, okay? Let's move on to the second card. What is the central focus of your physical body at this time and your health and wellness? Okay. Marriage. Marriage. For the Princess Bride fans out there. Marriage. Okay, so marriage is the central focus of your physical body at this time. So for some of you, on its face, you have been stressed or worried about a marriage that is yet to take place, or you are stressed and worried, or and maybe stressed and worried is a little preemptive, so let me go ahead and scratch that. Scratch worried and stressed out of there. But there is this, again, this feeling of anticipation. So for some of you, a marriage is upcoming and it's weighing on you physically. I can understand that's a stressful situation. That is something to worry about, especially if you're planning to get married in the middle of a pandemic. I assume that comes with all kinds of special monkey wrenches that you didn't account for when you initially said yes to the proposal, or you proposed to whoever and they said yes. You know what I mean? If it's an already established marriage, number one, these people look kind of young. I mean, most people who do get married, they do so in their younger years. Not to say you can't be married or thinking about marriage if you're an older person. But the youngness, why? Focus on this card, damn you. Do it! Thank you. Okay, we'll just do that every time then, I guess. So the youthfulness of this couple, I think, is, for some of you, okay, thank you. It's not you, it's your child, or, one of your younger relatives, a cousin, a niece, a nephew, something like that, a grandchild, something like that, and you're worried about them. It's not your marriage, it's someone else's marriage. Some of you. That's not for everybody, but some of you. But I am struck by the youthfulness of this couple, and if I'm honest, like, his face looks a little more like, I'm cool, I'm happy, this is the best day of my life, and she looks a little like, critical. Okay, so there could be some anxiety building up around a marriage that either is upcoming or it's already established. It could be a new marriage. It could be, the card on the number there is 3. Oh, and that's succession, 2 and 3. That was card 2, main female, and then 3 here. So it could be a marriage that's 2 to 3 years old. So I guess that's still kind of newlywed territory. I'm not really sure. And there's possibly this idea, because this is your physical body, right? What's going on with your physical body, your wellness, in terms of what you feel on how you show up in those ways, or how it's affecting your health is how I should say it. Thank you. So for some, this is like okay, maybe like it's only for like one person. Some of you are possibly thinking, or someone in your energy, someone in the situation is possibly thinking that a marriage is making someone unwell. It's making them unhealthy, or it is an unhealthy union, period. Okay, something like that. But let's see. Let's get more information with the tarot, please. What else can you tell me about the marriage card? Why is it the central focus of Aquarius's physical body and mental body? Excuse me, not mental body. Their physical body and their health and wellness at this time. Why is this the central focus of their physical body and their physical wellness at this time? Please show me. Okay, there's that Leo again. Strength, because of the 888 that I mentioned before. Maybe there's something where some of you are connecting with a Leo, married to a Leo. Strength in reverse, major arcana for Leo, and 10 of Wands. Okay. I mean, hate to call it like that, but for some, this is not, listen, I'm not saying don't do the thing. I'm not saying don't pursue the wedding vows if it's upcoming for you, but I feel it's a little bit, I don't know, there's like a hitch here. There's something where this is foreboding. Unfortunately, I feel this energy is a little foreboding. Strength reverse, 10 of Wands in reverse. I really feel like someone here doesn't, these two together, and I might go a little further with this because I want to know more. It feels like somebody here doesn't have what it takes to make this work. Okay? Again, please don't take that as like, I mean, maybe it speaks to you. I don't know your journey, Aquarius. I don't know you guys individually. But for those where it's upcoming, tread lightly with this energy. I think it's speaking more to those who are already in a commitment, already have exchanged vows, that this is kind of what's going on. It could also be, just to be fair, it could also be the projection of other people around you. Okay, family members, friends, people that are close to you, whether they have good reason or not. But I feel here someone doesn't have what it takes to do this in the long run, for the long haul, which a marriage talks about until the day you die, right? Until death do us part. So I feel here somebody is daunted by that, possibly going into a marriage. And again, tread lightly with that. Because again, I think this energy is more focused on people who have already exchanged vows, okay? But if you haven't yet, I think there's this fear, or there's a concern about what it all means, like the heftiness of what a marriage means. That's a huge responsibility. That's a huge commitment to make to another human being, okay? And I think someone is afraid to take that step, even though they've agreed. They've been proposed to. They said yes. They popped the question, and that shows their intention. But now they're sort of like this, but can I really do it? Energy. Can I really, you know, go the entire way? And I gotta be honest, Aquarius, in both scenarios where the marriage has already happened or it's upcoming, the strength card is a little bit giving me, for some of you, a little bit of an infidelity vibe. Just a little bit. I gotta be honest. It could be you, it could be the other person. I don't know who it is. You know, it's still a general reading, even though it's designed for you during your birthday season. But somebody here, I think, because strength itself, and again, related to Leo dynamics and Leo archetypes, when it's in the upright, would show some type of loyalty, would show some type of fidelity, would show some type of honor and respect and perseverance and wanting to be honorable, right? When it's in the reverse, it's a little more selfish. When it's in the reverse, it sort of throws those responsibilities or those sentiments out of the window, or it has a fear of those things or an inability to live up to those things, right? So, and the 10 of Wands equals carrying burden, equals carrying stress, equals carrying things in our lives that, you know, as the woman can kind of show you, it's hard for us to handle it. So some people here in this energy might have tried to or are trying to turn, you know, very this is it's not the greatest phrase, but basically, quote unquote, a hoe into a housewife. Okay, male or female, who, you know, the hoe can be either gender, but really trying to turn someone who is not very much interested in commitment into a committed partner. Okay, that's very, I don't want to say it's heavy, but again, it's just like this. I feel one partner or someone in this dynamic has agreed to do something that they no longer want to do, or they agreed to do something at an earlier part in their lives if they were married 20 years ago, and now 20 years later, it's not really what they thought it was all, you know, they've changed is basically what this feels like. For those where it's been established, the change is here. Thank you. Hold on. So for those where this is an established relationship or an established marriage of several years or even just a few years, I feel like there's a change in this person's fabric is the word they're giving me, their attitude, their outlook. Okay. Maybe their values have changed, right? Maybe before they felt marriage equals this and they agreed with that, you know, the death do us part and the sacred vows that two people can take in the middle of a ceremony, right? Or at the culmination point of the ceremony, I suppose. And now they don't necessarily believe that anymore. Like the strength also in reverse can equal somebody who doesn't know themselves, who doesn't have self-awareness, or they don't have a solid conviction, you know, principles that they're willing to stand up on. This could be principles that have been rewritten or are in some type of upheaval. And if we equal it, or we take it back to the 8 of Cups, I did say this is massive transformation and it's trial by fire. And being that it's 8s, you could possibly stretch it to 8th house. And 8th house does talk about a little bit about conviction, morals, or morals, I should say, you know. Interesting. I want to get one more on this. Just one more on this, please. Please clarify a little bit further why the marriage card is the central focus of Aquarius's physical body and their wellness at this time. One more card, please. That clarifies why the marriage card is here. Ace of Swords. Now, it's kind of in a crookedy kind of position, Aquarius. And if I pick it up like that, it's in the reverse. So, again, I think, yeah, they're like, don't. They're like, don't. And maybe, okay, so that's someone, don't. So what I'm talking about is not known knowledge. It's not readily understood by other people in this situation. This could be secret keeping, okay? And I understand, even though I don't necessarily champion it in my particular work that I do with clients, I tend to, push them a little bit maybe. But I understand why people get in these positions. You agree to be dedicated to a person. You agree to love them and be lawfully by their side through thick and thin, all of those things. That means a lot to people. The sentiment of it, I get it. And so any break from that tradition, any break from that position or mindset or perception and focus or how you show up in the relationship, how you perform in this in the marriage, isn't easily taken on. And so I feel here, in some cases, Aquarius, you or someone that you know is in a marriage where they're not happy, but they don't talk about it. Where they maybe are, involved in some level of infidelity, but they don't talk about it. It's a secret, where they've fallen out of love, or they don't believe they know how to commit to this person anymore, or maybe commitment means something else to them now. Maybe their idea of what a marriage means or how it's supposed to look has changed, but they're not communicating this. This Ace of Swords is like, no, don't, shh, very quiet. It could also be, in some cases, a denial. All right. So what I've talked about for the past 10, 15 minutes could be subconsciously known to a person, or it's not a part of their conscious awareness, so to speak. Someone could purposely be shoving it down and trying to keep a lid on that for their own intents and purposes. All right? Let's move on to what the central focus is of the spiritual body at this time. For Aquarius, message. Card 7. So 237, that might be of significance to you, those numbers. Message. Oh, why am I picking this up? We're not there yet. Message. So it's not lofty, but it kind of makes sense to me. I think in some cases, whoever the main female is, they could be one of the partners in the marriage card. It doesn't have to be a marriage between two men or two women. Jesus, a man and a woman. It can be a marriage between two women, two men. The gender of the actual people is a little more open, but in most of your cases, it will be a dynamic where at least one of the partners is a female. So, but if it's two males, I think it could still apply, but if it's at least a man and a woman or a woman and a woman, I think it's a little more apt. I think it's a little bit more on the nose there. But this message card, I feel, is possibly the anticipation over here, that the thing that the main female is anticipating is the message, perhaps. And being that this position, I've designated it to be the spiritual body, I think I'm looking for a sign. I'm looking for a clue. I'm looking for something from the gods above, my guides, my higher self, my spirit, universe, whatever, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, whoever. This person or someone here is looking for some celestial, cosmic, like, wake-up call or something that, like, solidifies, like gives them the permission to do or to be or to feel how they feel. Do you get what I mean? Like, unless could be someone's rationale. Unless I get a sign from the universe, there's no reason for me to pursue anything. There's no reason for me to take action on any of this, right? Because the only card of action we have is the 10 of Wands there. And even though 10s are culmination points and they can equal or signal that we're eventually going to turn things over and start anew, because the Strength card came in reverse next to it, I feel like that's someone saying, I can't do that. They're not meeting the moment. They're not following through, or at least making any plans or any changes to their circumstances. They are going to continue to carry the Ten of Wands, willfully carry that burden. Because if the Strength had come up in the upright, it might have been a different story. But you have both the Strength and the Ace of Swords in reverse next, or coming out with it. So it's showing an unwillingness here. And I feel someone is sort of like, well, if I get a sign from the Lord above, then I'm gonna do the damn thing. So it's very interesting that someone's looking for some type of sign, some kind of clue, some kind of synchronicity from external sources or cosmic forces that's going to give them, again, this permission to do something. That's what that feels like. Or if it's not that, then they would literally be looking for a sign. Oh, right. Okay, thank you. Because I did say in here, there is for somebody, at least one of you, a very real story about infidelity, an affair, a whole other relationship, or maybe a litany of relationships. But I feel there's at least one person here who's dealing with a partner, or you are the partner who has an outside relationship, and you're looking for a sign from that outside relationship. Tread lightly with that. That's bad juju. Just saying. And I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get too much into that, because it's not the overall message. I think the overall message is more about how someone feels internally, how they are viewing their situation, viewing their life, viewing their path. You know what I mean? But let's get some further information here with the tarot. Please give me further information of why the message card is the central focus of Aquarius's spiritual life at this time, their spiritual body at this time. Why is this the central focus of their spiritual body at this time? Please show me. Four of Pentacles, yep. And the Six of Pentacles. Okay. So there's a problem someone has with their own security. Someone is very insecure. And they don't know how to. Maybe not know how to, but there's a struggle here to be truly authentic, to be truly fair or balanced in a situation, and to be vulnerable in some senses, to be vulnerable, to sort of lay it all out there, all the cards on the table. Boom. Okay. Somebody has a problem. They don't know how to do that. Okay. And they need a pass. It's like they feel like they need to be told they can. They need to be told it's okay, or they need to be shown it's okay, or they need to have certain things in their physical world, their material world, in place before they can do that. So possibly the message is more technical. That's not the right word. What is the word? Technical. What is the word? Give me the word. The message might be tied to something that's actually like tangible. Maybe that's the word. So if someone is, there's no card here speaking of severing ties right now. There's no card here that's speaking of divorce, okay? But there is a potential that someone is waiting to have all their ducks in a row, their material ducks in a row before they can make a move towards whatever. Separation, divorce, just living separately. Okay, so let's go with that, because again, I'm being very honest, and I mean, if you are familiar with tarot, you could see it for yourself. There isn't much here that speaks of splitting, right? But let's say the new concept that I was speaking of a moment ago that someone has in their mind about marriage isn't necessarily what a marriage, how it perform. Well, I guess it would be that way. Maybe they still want to be married, but they want to live separately. Like, that's a thing. People do that. I've known a couple people. They're married, but they keep separate homes, or they live in different apartments, or they live in different cities. but they are full-blown married. They are committed to their relationship. They're committed to the vows that they made, but they just cannot live together. They know that about themselves as individuals, or they know that about their dynamic as two people. Like, we two people cannot cohabitate in a domestic space, at least not for a very long period of time. We're going to drive each other crazy, or it's just going to, hurt the relationship. So we want the relationship. We want to be married. We love and care for each other, but how can we make that happen? Okay, we just don't live together. Now, that's super untraditional. That would definitely ruffle the feathers of other people, because it just doesn't make sense to most. It makes sense to me because I'm a very non-traditional person in any way. But that could be what's going on here. So somebody might be, thinking of that. Okay, I want to be married to this person. I want to have this commitment to this person, but I can't do it the way that it's being done right now. I need to set up different accommodations. I need to have my own place, my own money, something like that. Like, this Four of Pentacles is like, I need to have my own. It could, even though it's Pentacles, it could extend to identity a little bit, because, we also value ourselves with Pentacles. Pentacles represents things that we value: money, time, energy, effort, things like that. Things that we can physically touch in this world, and some things that are a little bit more abstract. And your physical body and your ability to use your body or move your body is also on the table there. It's a little more abstract, and that's a little bit more of a pull, but I feel that could also be here. Maybe someone doesn't feel that they're in control of their own body, that they can't make their own choices, they can't come and go as they please. And so there's again this seeking approval messages, seeking to be told they have the green light to pursue something, or the green light to perform a certain way, or show up a certain way, or to have access to something. Yeah. Six of Pentacles can talk about soulmate relationships. Caveat, if you don't know, Aquarius is, when you work with Jay, soulmates do not have to be romantic partners, even though in this situation it feels very much like it would be. And number two, they don't always have to be, cookie cutter, sunshine and rainbows, sweet treat type of things. They're, to me, soulmate relationships will come with strife and hardship, because that's what we have transitioned into. We have transitioned into the age of Aquarius, and that is a more realistic and a more revolutionary way, a lens in which to view humanity or view existence on this earth, right? We're leaving the age of Pisces, which is all about fantasy and masquerades and indulgence and beauty above anything else and all this other kind of stuff. Aquarius isn't like that, and you should know your own energy, okay? So that's why I say soulmates, especially now, because this is when you were born. If you were born 2,000 years ago, it might have been a different story, but that's not what's going on, okay? So this is the era that you live in. This is the reality of what soulmates are, in my opinion. You do not have to agree. Now, so this could be possibly, I did say that, didn't I? Okay, so to address the infidelity thing, there's some of you or someone here who's waiting on a message from the outside person who is believed to be a soulmate. That might be true. That might be true. And so someone might be waiting for the person outside to get a place so that we can move in together once I divorce from my current relationship. Waiting for that person to set up shop in some type of way. Waiting for that person to possibly on their end get their divorce. Maybe it's two married people having a little side biscuit action with each other. Well, if you divorce yours and you split up with it and I'll split up with mine, then we can be together. It's like that type of agreement. And this Four of Pentacles is kind of holding down the fort until that information comes through. Okay. Let's get one more to clarify this. Oh, look at that. On the bottom of the deck before I fully shuffled it in was the Hierophant. So again, a card of marriage. So, interesting. Let's get one more here for this. Please clarify this, please. Further information as to why the message card is the central focus of Aquarius's spiritual body at this time. Please show me. That's 3. I'm not going to take that, but I want to note that the Tower was there. I'm not even going to look at the other 2. You might be curious, and I'm a little curious myself, but I'm just going to note that it's the Tower. So major upheaval might be happening soon, or possibly this situation stands on a precipice, on a very monumental shift point is what that feels like. A fault line is what they want me to say. Maybe some of you live in an area where earthquakes are common, so be on the lookout. Well, not be on the lookout, but be careful, I suppose. There we go. And the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah. I feel like it's possible that the reality of the situation, because these are all pentacles, and for me, pentacles equals our physical world, our 3D world, the reality that we all agree to exist on for the most part, right? And I feel like with this Five of Pentacles in reverse, it's like someone dreads making a mess of things, and, or rather, a mess being made out of their lives, a mess being made out of their 3D life, their physical life, okay? So we might have a situation, Aquarius, where this is a marriage of convenience or a relationship of convenience. If it's not marriage, it's possibly just a long-term commitment, okay? And it's convenient for someone, and they don't want to mess that up. And there could be a message like it could be maybe there's a business tied into this, or something to do with like assets and resources and having access to that. And maybe somebody signed a prenup, or maybe there was no prenup. And maybe somebody's looking like, okay, if I make an exit, if I exit stage left, what do I get? Am I going to be able to maintain myself? Four of Pentacles. Am I going to be able to hold on to my foundations? And the message could simply say no. If you divorce, if you separate, you forfeit your access to XYZ. You don't have access to the properties. You don't have access to the money. You don't have access to possibly kids, because there's a child on the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles can talk about, well, not it can talk about, but in this particular case, they're really late in the game giving me a kid here. Mostly because there's a kid on this card, and that often is a part of marriages. We get married, we have kids, or we adopt children, or whatever. You know what I mean? So there is sort of this, someone knows they have a lot to lose, and thus they don't want to necessarily take the risk. And even though this isn't in order, this is a succession. This is 4, 5, 6. It came out 4, 6, 5, but it's still a ascension of numbers, or succession of numbers, I should say. So I don't know how someone's going to proceed with that information, or with this message, you know. And that's the other thing. I think maybe the message isn't necessarily good news. You know, we can hope for good news, but it doesn't mean it's guaranteed to us. And we could hope for a particular outcome, and it doesn't mean it's going to come. Okay? So we're going to move on to your central focus in your purpose at this time. We're going to switch tarot decks, give a little bit of fresh energy into that. So I'm going to wake this deck up a little bit. Messages for Aquarius, please. That's good. They like that. All right, so let's see what it is. Central focus of your purpose at this time. Not what is your purpose, but what is the, again, what is the focal point of your purpose at this time. High honor. Ooh, card 25 added together. It's a 7. High honor. All right. So for some of you, I think, Aquarius, given that this has been heavily themed on marriage or commitments, I think some of you are in a moral quandary, a moral I don't want to say struggle, but maybe it is a struggle of how to proceed. And again, we're moving moving from Pisces, the age of Pisces, into the age of Aquarius. There's going to be this strangeness, awkwardness, rebelliousness, even in some cases, when we talk about high honor or something that deals with our moral compasses. Yes? Not to say we're moving into an age of anarchy and there's no such thing as morals, there's no such thing as rules, there's no such thing as expectations. No, it's retooling all of those things and recalibrating all those things and reconsidering those things. And if we're just beginning, right, it would make sense that most of us, if not all of us here on this earth, are going to feel strange about suddenly rewriting. And it feels sudden. It's not sudden. It's developed over thousands of years. But it's going to feel sudden to us because we're the first who are breaking tradition. And I'm not saying this is what you have to do. I'm not saying this is what you will do. I'm not saying that this is your destiny to break tradition. No. But I think there is a wrestling with what it means to be honorable, what it means to be, as I mentioned earlier, to have fidelity in a commitment. You know, the rules and the regulations and the expectations are being rewritten in your own marriage and in the idea of marriage overall. And I feel some people are having a little bit of a harder time with that. Possibly because they haven't conceived of it outside of their own situation. And I can understand because because there's a group of people here, right? There's a group of soldiers here. So the company that someone keeps, okay, so it's got to specifically be this deck that doesn't want to freaking focus. It's so ridiculous, but here we go. There you go. So there's a group of people here, a group of soldiers, people that are, in theory, your like-minded brothers and sisters, right? So that could translate into your family. That can translate into your social circles, your friends. That can translate into your spiritual your spiritual community. So if you're a member of a church or a synagogue or a temple or whatever, and these are the best practices that are given to you by your religious beliefs, whatever they may be, right? So there's sort of like this, you don't want to be the odd man or odd woman out in this energy, right? So there's something to be reconciled here with how you relate to your role as a partner, as a husband, a wife, as a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, all those things, right? So there's something about fulfilling your duties with honor and dignity, but at the same time, honoring yourself. How can you honor the self but honor the group? That is the crux of Aquarius. If you didn't know about yourself, study yourself, study your house, the 11th house, okay? It's like, it's maintaining an independent identity in the middle of also being a member of a larger group, a larger community. It's a very, I feel in many ways Aquarius has sort of like a tightrope that they need to walk. But that's just my opinion. So let's get some further information with this tarot deck, the Vanessa tarot deck. What else can you tell me about high honor for Aquarius at this time? What else can you tell me regarding high honor as the central focus of their purpose at this time? Please show me. Okay. Page of Cups in reverse, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Could be dealing with a water sign. You don't have to be. Yeah, we'll get 3 to start. For some reason now I'm going to do 3. Because I know I did 2 and 1 before, but we're going to get a full 3 right now. One more, please, for Aquarius. And the 5 of Wands. All right, so first one was the Page of Cups. Come on. 3 of Swords, 5 of Wands. Okay, exactly. This story just will not die. This struggle to be faithful, or this struggle to be seen as faithful, or to perform the duties of a wife, of a husband, of a mother, of a father, whatever it is. It's just like, it's hard for somebody. It's really hard. And they're people. So I'm like, why am I feeling so sympathetic? Because they're a person. They have their own emotions. They have their own struggles. And I'm not trying to excuse anybody's behavior, but we'll get into it. So the purpose here, or the central focus of the purpose, I think revolves around someone's possibly, Okay, we could do that. We could do that because I mean that's again like I'm talking so much about the age of Aquarius. You are Aquarius. This is your season. This is your birthday reading. There is possibly in your story for yourself or someone that you're dealing with. I think I've mentioned this in readings before, and I don't know where, but I know I've mentioned this, so I'm trying to connect with how I described it before. It's sort of like it's like someone isn't made to do this, but they're doing it anyway. Page of Cups reverse. Again, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Three of Swords in the middle, and then the Five of Wands. Someone simply isn't cut out for this work. So the central focus of your energy at this time or your purpose at this time is high honor. Perhaps you or someone that you're dealing with, Aquarius, isn't cut out for that. And that sucks because I think we still live. I mean, the age of Aquarius has just begun. We are not anywhere near in the comfortable part of the in the paradigm shift, right? We're just starting this changeover from Pisces to Aquarius, right? So many of us who have incarnated around this time are simply going to be, again, not cut out for what is happening. It's new, it's unexplored, it's revolutionary. And so people are going to be seen as quote unquote failures, quote unquote fuck ups, quote unquote bad people, even though all they're doing is ushering in the new era. Do you get what I mean? Because everything I said before about reconsidering what it means to be married, reconsidering and rewriting those traditions. When you first start it, there's a lot of pushback. There's a lot of people saying, you're not supposed to do that. That's not the way it's supposed to be done. How dare you? That is what some of your purposes are, is to usher in a new way of honoring, possibly the self. Again, what I said, the self in the middle of a group. And it's not to say to be selfish. Again, I'm not excusing any bad behavior. That's not me co-signing on anything. Never. Because there's a way to go about this. But if you're unaware or you're looking for messages, you're looking for signs, and you're uncertain and you're insecure, you're probably not going to perform in a dignified manner, right? But your purpose still remains. Whether you can, your purpose is sort of not stagnant, but it's sort of set, or it's sort of already dialed into your path, and how you go about fulfilling your purpose is up to you as an individual. Some of you are aware, some of you are having these high-level discussions with yourself, with your guides, with your partners, with your friends. Others of you, like I said before, with the Ace of Swords in the reverse, you're not saying anything to anybody, or someone's not. If it's not you, it's someone you're dealing with. So what I see here with this Page of Cups, Three of Swords, Page of Cups in reverse, Three of Swords, and the Five of Wands, is somebody who struggles to do the right thing, and they don't know how, because it's innate in them. If you were incarnated here at the beginning of a new age, at the beginning of a new paradigm, and your spirit is essentially a foot soldier in laying the groundwork of the next age, the next paradigm, right? You're the grunt. You get the shit work. Like, I'm not in military. My sister is. And basically there's a hierarchy to it. The grunts do all the bullshit. They go through the rough stuff because they're the lowest on the totem pole, so to speak. They're the lowest ranking. And it's not to say your value is low. It's just that's how you do it. Like, if you view it as sort of like you're building something, or you're disseminating something, or you're dispatching people, dispatching souls to do this work. All right, send the grunts, and then in another 100 or 200 years, then we're going to send the higher ranking. And by that time, first of all, we'll all be dead, or at least, this version of us will be dead, right? So you get what I mean? So like this early stage of transition gives us this. People who feel inept, people who feel possibly ostracized or incapable of doing the work, even though they're doing the work. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So you have someone who possibly is in commitments, in partnerships where they are not able to give what is expected because of the old tradition, the old hat, the old school of thought. This new school of thought is much less traditional, or at least that tradition is being rewritten in some type of way. And we're not going to know what it is, or we're not going to really be able to get into the sweet spot of it until several hundred years into this new age. So to me, this makes a lot of sense, but for whoever's experiencing it, I'm sure they're not at all pleased. I'm sure this sucks for them, you know? So someone shows up, Page of Cups in reverse, super immature. But they play and they purport to be mature. Now, that's not me saying marriage is not for you or them or whoever. It's not me saying this person is no good and not worthy of love and not worthy of commitment or something like that. No, it's just the way in which they have been, how they have pursued or agreed to it thus far is not suitable for their spirit. You know, what did I say earlier? You could be married, but maybe your marriage is one that works better when you're distant, from when you're separate from your partner. That seems unreasonable to many people in traditional terms. When two people get married, they're supposed to make a happy home together. Why doesn't make financial sense to pay 2 rents, 2 mortgages, whatever. That, you know, it doesn't speak logically to people on paper. But from somebody's subjective point of view, that would make them happiest. That would make them the most, not agreeable, what's the word? Effective. That would make them the most effective partner, is if they could maintain their own physical space. And there's other ways to have non-traditional marriages in this day and age that people are doing, and they're doing successfully. But I feel here someone hasn't found that road yet. Possibly because they're not talking about the ways in which they want to have an untraditional marriage. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys. So the Three of Swords, I think because they don't express, because other people haven't been necessarily receptive to even the murmurings, like, hey, maybe I don't want to like live with my husband, or maybe I don't want to just have one wife. And, you know, I'm not co-signing on bigamy or anything like that, but, you know, like an open marriage, you know, something like that. And just murmuring about that, like speculating, oh, what do you guys think? Like this, and again, 5 of Wands, in this particular deck looks like a bridal shower party, or like, you know, a bunch of bridesmaids clamoring for the bouquet, right? Oh, now you don't want to do it either? Okay, there we go. There you go. So this could be, you know, one person going to their friends like, hey girls, what do you guys think about, like, you know, bringing more than one woman into the bedroom and like making that like a regular thing. And they're like, oh my God, what are you talking about? I would never. I would be so jealous. And oh my God, that would just be an excuse for him to da 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 da. And like, it's like this combative energy. Like if someone is like trying to express themselves and say, hey, these are the ways I think I want my marriage to go. What do you guys think? Other people are just like, no, that's crazy. Don't do that. Because, again, of this traditional, moving from what we know of one particular paradigm and we're shifting into a new one, people are not yet ready. People are not yet able to comprehend what some people, not everybody, but some people are already exhibiting. Again, the grunts that come down who are going to initiate this energy, initiate this shift. You know, it's thankless work. And again, I'm not trying to excuse anything at all, because I feel somebody here needs to be a little more mature, a little more brave, and be willing to do the work, but possibly they don't view it this way. Like, I'm able to see this from a higher perspective. Not to say it's the necessarily quote unquote correct perspective, but I could see how this is work that is necessary to shift our our global communicative energy. This is necessary. But someone might not view it that way because it's their day-to-day life. It's their 3D life. Like, screw how it affects the collective. My life is in shambles, or my emotional self is in shambles. I don't care about the collective. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes people can't see beyond their own situations. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's it? Okay, good. So now we're going to go into your soul connections, whether it be with this particular person that we're talking about or this particular soul connection or another. What is the central focus of any soul connections that you have at this time, Aquarius? Concern. Card 33, added together, that's a 6. Concern. We're going to switch tarot decks as well for this one. Well... that brings me back to what I said earlier of how someone might feel they are, like, one second. Someone might have a particular relationship that they're in right now, that they're committed to right now, married or long-term commitment, whatever. And being that this is the soul connection portion of the reading, someone might be thinking, okay, I married someone and I'm committed to someone. Are they my soulmate? Or is someone external to my marriage, my commitment, my true soulmate? Or do I have any soulmates to speak of at all? Am I in this life soulmate-less? Am I projecting my own desire into a situation that where it doesn't fit? Does that make sense? Like someone is unsure of any type of soul ties that they have. Maybe someone thinks, I don't have any. Or if I do, I don't know which one it is. Or if I have some, is it more than one? You know, so there's a lot of... like this card, this gentleman on this card, I don't think he's fashioned after or meant to mimic him. But it's like giving me like Freud vibes, like deep psychological study or deep concern over... the who, the what, the where, the when, like the details of it and how it all fits, how it all intermingles, how it all interlocks, and being unsure of just like someone doesn't know whether they're coming or going, it feels like. Discombobulated, I guess, is a word that we can use, even though it's a nonsense word. Like someone feels really discombobulated over the spiritual ties, the soul connections that they have with one particular person or more than one person, or just how they are made up themselves. Like someone is unsure of if they're meant to have any soul connections, you know, or it's a missing energy. Like again, this idea of I'm not with my soulmate, and maybe also possibly coming to a conclusion that says I can't be, and if I can't be with my soulmate, but still having concern over that person, you know, and that's a little dangerous. I don't want to get too much into that because I don't think that's the bigger message, but we'll see. So what else is going on here? Please clarify with the tarot deck for Aquarius. Why is concern the central part of their soul connections at this time? Why is that the central focus of their soul connections at this time? That's good. They like that. That's fine. All right, let's see. No, that's way too many. Not even going to acknowledge that because that's like a good portion of the deck. If any of that stuff is meant to come out, it'll come out. One more time, please. Central focus for Aquarius' soul connections at this time. Please clarify. See, it almost did it again. Like a huge chunk trying to come out all at once. Maybe that's... maybe it's a lot to handle all at once, is maybe what that means. These huge chunk of cards trying to fall out all at once. Stop. Thank you. Four of Swords. How are we going to take that? I think we're going to take this one and we're going to turn it like that. But we're going to acknowledge that the Six of Pentacles in reverse came out. So Six of Pentacles came up earlier over here with message. And Six of Pentacles does talk about reciprocation, you know, fair give and take in a situation. And being that it's in the reverse, we might have gone from thinking, because the Six of Pentacles was in the upright earlier, we might have gone from feeling like we have a chance to be reciprocal in a soulmate relationship to now feeling like we cannot be reciprocal. Does that make sense? All right, so let's see the first card that came out, or the Magician, Four of Swords, and Judgment. Magician, secondary major arcana for Gemini and Virgo. Could be dealing with either of those signs. You don't have to be. Four of Swords. And the Judgment card, secondary major for Aries as well as sometimes Scorpio. Could be dealing with any of those signs or not at all. I think some of you, someone here, possibly, like I said before, regarding the Page of Cups in reverse and this idea in my mind of like a grunt in like the armed forces or the army or whatever. It's like you don't realize what your impact is. You don't realize your power. You don't realize your role or the function of your role as a grunt, as a private, as a whatever it is. I don't know the rankings, and I feel like that's here, that someone is sort of asleep. Four of Swords in the center, asleep on their own power, asleep on their own position. They don't know. Like I said, there could be a struggle in trying to understand what type of soulmate relationship you have. And I don't use often very much labels like karmic partner, twin flame, divine, masculine, feminine, all that kind of stuff. If you want to use those labels, you may do so. But I find them to be, at least how I've observed people get really tied to the label and some certain expectation of what the label means. So I feel maybe someone here has a preconceived notion of, oh, I'm in a twin flame relationship. Oh, I'm in this person over here is the karmic partner and this person over here is the divine, masculine or feminine, whatever. That can be limiting. That could be what someone is sort of asleep on or resting on, because Four of Swords talks about rest more than being asleep. Actually, it's just talking about resting and sort of being reflective. So someone could literally be thinking, well, this is the twin flame dynamic and it must do XYZ, because that's what twin flame is defined as. Okay, if that's what you believe or that's what they believe, that's fine. I would challenge that, but I'm not going to go too deep into it, you know? Because I feel there's limitlessness on either side of this Four of Swords. There's more to the story. There's more to be understood, to be revealed or experienced than what someone believes they are experiencing. Not to say it's better, not to say it's worse. It's just more. It's limitless. Or it's under reconstruction, because the Magician and the Judgment card are both sort of recalibration energies. The Magician creates and then the Judgment card reconstructs. So it's like, again, under construction. It's not yet fully understood. It's not fully formed yet, right? But someone is unaware of that with the Four of Swords in the center. Or they get caught in some kind of concern, analysis paralysis perhaps, thinking over and over and over again the same thought or considering things in the same lens, from the same perspective. So there is sort of this reluctance, resistance, or unawareness of how things could be different. So, you know, I think, today on a comment on one of my videos from the mid-January videos, someone talked about, because I guess I went on a tangent in the video. I don't know. I don't watch my stuff back. But they commented that they believe that some people, not everybody, I don't want to put words in this person's mouth, and I'm very much paraphrasing, but basically that people can do harm to themselves by believing in certain dynamics. You will see people, and I'm not calling anybody out in particular. I don't work with people, at least I haven't, not to my knowledge, of anyone who's been in a twin flame relationship for years. I think the comment was basically people are chasing people that are unavailable to them for years because of the promise or the lure of twin flame. And I've already talked about it in a certain way, that is old hat. That is the old paradigm. That is very Piscean, twin flame, in the way that many people perceive it. We are now in the age of Aquarius. We can't have the same perception of that relationship, in my opinion. But if you disagree or anybody else disagrees, that's your business. So I feel that is possibly here. I'm not saying like there's no card traditionally, and I don't usually assign cards to twin flame because it's just not part of how I read. But there could be something here where someone believes, okay, well, because this is how I've been taught, or this is the thought that I've eventually come to myself, I'm just going to rest here on it. And they don't realize that you can continue to evolve your thought. You can continue to recreate and reconstruct how you perceive and show up. Maybe more to the point, how you show up in your own soul dynamics. Regardless of how other people perform, Aquarius, how you perform, that is something you can control. Magician. That is something that you can have a direct creation effect on. How you perform, how you show up, how you perceive and believe in what soulmates mean to you and how you relate to those other people. That's up to you. You're not beholden to, and you're not beholden to a rule book that says these types of soulmates or these types of soul relationships, they have to go this way and that's the end of it. What? That's limited. And these two here, magician and judgment, it's a lot less burdened, or restricted is the word I want. It's a lot less restricted. And someone doesn't necessarily know how to reconcile with that. And that is sort of a challenge with the age of Aquarius, to be given more freedom, which is essentially what we're going to get into. You know, this is what it is. This is the new era, 2,000 years, buckle in. Okay? So it's becoming accustomed to more freedom, how to utilize it or how to work with it, and do so in a well-balanced way. To do so in a healthy way, spiritually, mentally, physically, all those ways, right? We could really screw it up, but there's an intention here or a concern here to do it the right way. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Aquarius, that's your reading. We're gonna go ahead and tap out here. If you like this reading, if it resonates with you, if there's any messages here that spoke to you, feel free to like the video and drop a comment down below. Let me know how it did resonate. I'd love to read that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. That'd be super cool. And if you want to get at me for a personal, that information is down in the description box. I neglected to announce at the top of the reading, so maybe I'll in post, maybe I'll put something up on the screen so you can see it. I'm going to go live for you guys on February the 9th. That's a Saturday. So if you guys are free and you want to hang out with me at 7 p.m. here on the channel, Eastern Standard Time, and ask some questions of me through the tarot decks, I will be happy to work with you. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, be on the lookout for your February and mid-February messages as well, okay? Aquarius, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.